Okay guys, so I'm going to show you the difference between a expensive turbo inlet and a cheap turbo inlet. So I'm going to do this really quick. This one comes with adjustable like nipples, so all these move. You can put them any way you want them. Okay, this one does not. These are not adjustable. I mean, there's a little bit of play in there, you know, but they're not adjustable. Okay, they're not going to hold a position where you put them. Now, the difference between these ones, other than not being adjustable, is that these are siliconed in place. So these are not coming out. Okay, these are all siliconed in. These ones are not. Now you could silicone these in. There's nothing wrong with that. You could do it. Personally, I would not do it. I like the fact that they're adjustable, and if they're going to be adjustable, I'd leave them adjustable. So what I would do is I'd just put a hose clamp on the end of these. But this one, you don't need a hose clamp. They're siliconed in. These are permanent fittings. They're not coming out unless you pull them out. Now you can pull them out. If you pull them out, I would assume that if you're pulling it out, you're going to block it off because you're not going to use one of these holes. But if you are going to block it off, I don't think you would take it apart. I think you would honestly just put a cap on it, right? So personally, I like the ability to adjust the nipples, but I do like that these are siliconed in. It's less messy, and you don't have to worry about all the hose clamps. Whereas this one, you have to put a hose clamp here, a hose clamp here, a hose clamp there, a hose clamp there, and on. So definitely much more work with this one, and in those tight spaces, this is probably going to be a pain in the butt. As far as these two blow-off valve or recirculating valve inlets, this one definitely feels much more solid. So I'll show you guys the inside. See how it has like that extra red lip? There's definitely more material bracing this side, or bracing this one, than this one. So this one doesn't have that. It's just a straight through, and it doesn't feel as good as that one. That one feels really solid. So onto the fronts. Now I know it probably doesn't look it, but both of these holes, okay, are identical as far as the width, like on the inside diameter. This one, like I said, it's not siliconed in, so you're gonna have to put a hose clamp here and a hose clamp here. On this one, this is siliconed in, so they've done it already from the factory. So you only need to put a hose clamp on this one. And then we'll go on to the inside. So the inside, let's see if I can show you guys. So that's the inside. Okay. So you can see that there is kind of some extra like silicone at the holes, but it's not that bad. But see how much light is coming in from this on the top? It's because this material is thinner. So this is the cheap one. Yes, you can see some ribs, but let's see if I can show you. So I'm going to push down. So it does cave in a little bit. This cheap one is definitely a thinner material by far. So you can see the difference. This is a 3-ply. Okay, and then we'll go on to the expensive one, and this is a 4-ply. And I can tell you in person the difference on those fabric layers. This definitely feels like a much better fabric, and this is much thicker. So we'll go to the inside on this one. So if you see on the inside, also has the extra silicone on the inside. But when we go to the top, with the light, you can see the difference in the thickness by when I move the light over it. So this one is definitely thicker. I'll show you guys. I'll push down. And I'm pushing down really hard on that to get that to come in on itself. I'll show you. So, I mean, that's me pushing really hard. It definitely feels much more solid on the MishiMoto than this one. So this cheaper one, it feels much more like pliable, and you can really squeeze this. Like the MishiMoto, I would not be able to squeeze from this direction for sure, but it definitely feels more pliable. So the big question, what one do I recommend? So honestly, if you're looking for a turbo inlet and they're not a crazy amount in price difference, like maybe $100 to $150, honestly, I would buy the more expensive one. So my reasoning for that, we can clearly see the difference in the layers here. This is a much thicker material. The nipples feel much more like sturdy, like they're not going to rip or get a hole in them for moving around like this. You know, the silicone is nice. The material just is much, it does feel much beefier. The blow-off valve or recirculator valve inlet is much nicer on this more expensive one. The cheaper one, it'll get you by. Do I really think this will cave in on itself? Maybe. But you'd have to really be pushing some serious horsepower. If you have a stock car, you're never doing any other modifications, go ahead and buy the cheaper one. But I do know from experience that silicone tends to be like, when you put it on, it's good, it'll last. But if you take things on and off often or things like that, they do tend to wear out. So I feel like this material will wear out faster than this one. And if they, like, let's say they do wear out, this one doesn't have a warranty. This has a lifetime warranty with it. So if it does wear out, I can just call them and get a new one. Versus the cheap one, you're not getting that. And this was only I think it was like $130 more than this one. So this one is good, but it just, to me, it's worth going with this one. I also forgot to mention that the difference in the reds, this is a much brighter, more vibrant red, and then this one is more of like a reddish, pinkish kind of color. I don't know why that is, but it is. Personally, I actually like this red a little bit better than this red, but I'm not going to put this one in my car. I'm going to put this one. Oh, yes, I forgot. So the difference, I don't even know if you guys will be able to tell, but this one has like a little bit of a curve to it to line up better with the turbo inlet, and then this one's more flat. So personally, I think that this one will line up better with the turbo inlet than this one does, and I think long term this will last longer on the turbo inlet than that one will. And if you guys are replacing this on your Subaru, you will know that the reason you're probably replacing it is probably because it ripped right here at the turbo inlet. So you want something that fits really good against the turbo inlet. But that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this video. There will be an install on this on my car with the MishiMoto, and that is coming soon. So I will see you guys in that video.